Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today I'm here with Jane from Userlist. Hello.
Hi, Christian. Glad to be here.
Nice to meet you. Please tell us more about your company.
Userlist is an email automation, email marketing platform, similar to whatever you know, MailChimp, ConvertKit, Drip, but we focus exclusively on serving SaaS companies. So it's a more niche product. Our special sauce is serving what other providers can't, for example, company accounts in addition to individual users and many other cool things. So we've been working on this together with my co-founder, Benedict, from Germany since 2017, and it's been a long, interesting ride.
So what's the main problem that you solve?
We help SaaS companies onboard, engage their users, as well as build their marketing email lists. So basically solve the classic email automation problem, everything that any SaaS business needs, but so they actually enjoy it versus some weird hacked together solution.
Oh, I understand. So it's all in one. Yeah.
I would say that it can handle both marketing and lifecycle email. It's not anything like, those crazy big solutions like Intercom that can do everything, and the chat, or HubSpot that would be another all-in-one. We're a bit more specific, focused on email and in-app notifications.
What are the top 3 features that your customers love?
Well, the top one and our unique selling proposition is those company accounts, which allow you to not just have a bulk of individual users, but also see who are the accounts, segment them, do automations based on accounts and other cool things. That would be definitely one. We have an interesting channel in addition to email that is called in-app notifications. That would be another cool feature. And I'm hoping that overall simplicity is another cool thing that attracts founders, because we don't have to serve all types of businesses. We can allow ourselves to be more focused and more lightweight to use. So that would be number 3.
Are you familiar with the tool called Apollo?
Yep, that's called Outreach. It's a different story.
I want to ask you the difference between what you do and Apollo. So with your tool, you just manage the email, right?
Yeah, there are different ways of automating email. So there is the most traditional is marketing email, which is requires opt-in to be subscribed. Usually you would sign up for a lead magnet and things like that. So building your marketing email list kind of stands in the middle. Before that goes the cold outreach. It doesn't ask for an opt-in, basically mimics individual email. And it requires a different even a different domain to send from, because it's completely unsolicited. It's a different mechanic. You're not asking for an opt-in, and it's a different kind of relationship with a cold lead. And on the other side of the spectrum goes the lifecycle email. And again, there you don't need the opt-in because these people are your customers. So you're already in a relationship with them when they signed up for your product. So these are like 3 stages. Cold outreach, then goes marketing email, and lifecycle email. I would also like to point out that there is transactional email, which is another email service that every SaaS company needs, that needs to send out password resets, invoices, things like that, like new comment notifications if you're providing that, or something like that. This type of email also needs another platform, special separate service, because those need to be delivered instantly. So speed of delivery is factor number 1, and that cannot be done through traditional marketing, because marketing software processes a lot of data. They calculate segments and do other things. They don't really provide instant delivery. It's a different goal, different software. So as you can say, a SaaS company actually needs like 4 types of email to do, and that's what we're trying to do, to educate people and then serve them.
Yeah, that was more of a personal question just for me to understand, but I guess that there are also users who have that question. So
yeah. A lot of a big part of what we do during demos is basically decomposing and understanding people's situation, what they currently do, and trying to see what pieces of the puzzle are missing and if we can help them solve them. So it's always a lot of demystifying.
Maybe I'll do a demo with you after. Okay. So I was curious to know some successful use cases. Some companies that that use your product successfully, not necessarily to name them, but how things work.
Some names.
Okay.
Yeah, there is I'll just name drop some of our customers. So there's SavvyCal, a scheduling platform that is slowly replacing Calendly across the web. That is one big name. Another one is a podcasting platform called Transistor.fm. Mm-hmm. One of the famous ones is Toggle, the time tracking software. So Toggle Plan is our customer. And so we use Clockify. It's another time tracking tool. So yeah, they have been with us for a while and are one of our big names.
Okay. And how did you help them? More specific. So you help them grow in what way, or you make what process more efficient for them?
They use our software to send their onboarding emails as the primary use case, and also the rest of the lifecycle email, everything that happens after the sign up.
I understand. And let's talk about the pricing plans. Do you offer a free trial?
Of course, it's a typical practice, but we are asking for a credit card upfront. So it's not like, basically the friction to get started is so high that credit card doesn't hurt. And also just looking at the blank trial doesn't really make you instantly a good user. There is always that investment of setting up the integration, and actually setting up the segments and the campaigns. So it's all a big educational ride. And our general acquisition strategy is to spread the word, educate people out there on best practices when it comes to lifecycle email. And whenever they're ready to invest into switching platforms and they think that Userlist is a good solution, then our name will be on the table, and then they will come to us and start a trial, and then our customer success team can help them. So that's the dynamics we work with.
Mm-hmm. And can you share with us your two pricing plans? I saw that you have two pricing plans, right?
Yes, we've recently updated our pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So our lower tier at the moment starts at $149. Basically includes everything that a SaaS company would need. But our primary unique selling point, the company accounts, that is locked to the more expensive plan, which starts at $499 a month, I believe. So that requires more setup, more individual attention from our customer success, a bit more intricate setup because there are multiple layers of the data integration. So we prefer to serve it as a higher pricing tier. And, the common notion these days is that when somebody arrives at your SaaS website, they would very often skip on the homepage and go straight to the pricing page so that they can just understand what it is about and what's the price, like as an indicator of quality and everything. So we try to make it so our pricing grid makes our key features stand out really well. So we explain that, yes, this is a software that is about company accounts, and that is why we're charging you that money.
I think that's very, very important, and I'm happy that you updated your pricing. Yeah. You already mentioned that you started your company in 2017. I was curious on the idea, that how did you come up with the idea? Or what was the thing behind it?
Yeah, so me as a founder, it's my second SaaS product that I'm working on. The previous one was called, was a generic productivity tool called Tiny Reminder. Benedict, my co-founder, was then my engineer for hire. Mm-hmm. So we had worked together before. And when we did that, there was obviously a lack of a tool that could do behavior-based email for SaaS, and also in-app notifications was another thing I wanted to show. Behavior-driven in-app messages. And Intercom was the only obvious solution back then, and it was expensive, and it was prior to the redesign. It wasn't even beautiful like it is today. So it was like a no-brainer to pick that. And we decided to build an alternative, and we never thought that we would end up being an email marketing platform.
Have you raised any funds?
Yes, we're not VC-backed, but we have raised 2 small rounds of funding. One was in 2020, just as the pandemic was like full swing in March. We were joining Tiny Seed, the accelerator for bootstrap startups. So we did that in 2020. That was great. And then we did another angel round last year. We raised funds from 22 angel investors. So we have now an amazing crew of advisors on board as a result. But yeah, we might be raising in the future. At the moment, we're fine with the angel funding plus the revenue we're getting. So should be getting there. And it's pretty cool that we don't have to raise in 2022 because the climate is not amazing this year.
I love this strategy. So how did you find those 22 angels?
It's a lot of legwork, like any fundraising. So we could have gotten maybe similar checks from a couple bigger companies, but it just so happened that across the network, there were a lot of people who wanted to support us. So we just took it as is, and that's how we ended up with such a large number.
Super. Yeah, I love it. No VC, but angels. So as you said, they're mentors for you and advisors who you can call anytime. And yeah, super.
Yeah. In terms of the mechanics, it was on the safe note. So it's a really nice tool that makes it simple in terms of agreement. So there is no specific obligation. So it's not really scary to take those people on board because there are no like voting rights or anything. We're not sacrificing our freedom really with this.
That's perfect. And how big is your team?
It's 6 people at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and can you tell us more about your backstory? You already told us that you founded another company. While working on that, did you also develop Userlist? So you're working on both at the same time for a period, as I understand?
No, that story was just 1 year long. It was about 1 year up to the fall of 2017. So they were like wrapped up one and then started another. And there were originally 3 co-founders. So we were supposed to be a sort of Swiss Army knife kind of team between me doing design and marketing and my co-founder Benedict is an amazing engineer, and there was also a third marketing co-founder Claire, who then left on friendly terms after about 1 year. So there are 2 of us at the moment in the founding team.
Okay, I understand. And do you have any advice for founders?
Treat this like marriage and always think about your prenup before, while you're still in good terms. So having all those mechanisms in place, such as vesting and the co-founder agreement and everything, it allowed us to part ways on very friendly terms. And make it difference between, vesting, like gaining equity, and doing operational work. So like founders very often forget that, especially after vesting is over, that their operational work should be rewarded, what they actually do. So it's another thing to think about. So salary and equity are 2 different stories. Don't mix them.
Things like that should absolutely be discussed before starting, right? And put on a paper or something like that, because you don't know how the heat in the moment can damage that. So I'm happy that your co-founder left with in a friendly manner, as you said. I wanted to ask you maybe one last question. What's your favorite software?
Software. There are 2 tools I discovered last year that we're both delighted to use. Can we make it 2?
Absolutely.
So one is called Pitch, the software for designing presentations. I I needed a slide deck for something, and I was like, there should be better solution than, Google Docs, Google Slides, or whatever. There should be modern SaaS for this, and that's how I found Pitch. I'm absolutely delighted by their software, and they have amazing templates. So it's a completely design-driven business. And I'm a seasoned UX person. It's really hard to inspire me with like templates or whatever presentation design. So kudos to them. And another one is called Lightstorm. It's I think they're having a take on Zoom at some like angle. So it's a software for meetings and webinars. We use them for webinars. I know they can do more than that. Their interface and their design again is once again modern standard, so really enjoying them for our monthly workshops at Userlist.
And can you share with us other software that you use inside your company? So I don't know, your project management tool or other software that you use internally?
Notion is lovely, but it's like no surprise, like it's probably half of your listeners using Notion for their internal docs.
Yeah.
It's great, really takes the pain away from like creating new pages and stuff. It's pretty quick to use. Because previously we were using Google Docs more, and it's such a pain to barely like start a new document. You have to like, wait.
Yes.
A Notion just makes everything easier. However, we still use Google Docs in publishing flows because it's the best tool that provides like suggested edits. Unfortunately, there is no other that we know about at the moment.
And lastly, please tell us more about your 2 podcasts that you host.
So one of the shows is a big old design podcast called UI Breakfast. I've been running that since 2014.
Wow.
And it's been growing exponentially, but not for the first 5 years. Basically, it took, at the moment we're approaching 3 million all-time downloads. It took, 6 or 7 years to get to the first million, and then another maybe year to get to the second million. So you can imagine how compound effect just works over time. I'm really proud to be host of that. We right now publish every 2 weeks. And the other is a fresher new show that we publish at Userlist. It's called Better Done Than Perfect. We focus more on email and SaaS matters there, and it's beautifully produced. We have amazing show notes, which were like executive recaps written, and it's great to have a platform for making business friends, inviting guests, etc. And the name of it, Better Done Than Perfect, symbolizes a lot to both me and Benedict. I even have a tattoo that says BDTP here because
Nice.
we are both sort of recovering perfectionists, and unfortunately the SaaS game has taught us that most times it's more important to ship the working version versus trying to polish it until next Christmas or something. So that's what we're trying to do here.
That's amazing piece of advice, and I'll definitely check them out. All the links are below. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you so much for hosting this, Christian.
I really appreciate. Thank you.